Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good greetings. We will be watching a video by Jubilee titled Six Muslims versus One Secret Non-Muslim. If you have watched this series by Jubilee where they have a secret non-member of a certain group, you know what this game is all about. But if you don't, I think this video will be self-explanatory. So without further ado, let's go and watch this video.
What comes to your mind when you think of Muslims? Do you put them in a box based on biases heard from the media, your peers, or just unknown sources? As you play along this episode of Odd Man Out, think of how you pick them up.
We brought together 7 Muslims.
I'm Muslim.
I'm Muslima.
I'm Muslim.
I'm Muslim. I'm Muslim.
I'm Muslim.
I'm Muslim.
One is a liar. If the group discovers who the liar is, they'll split a cash prize. If the liar survives, they win the entire prize.
Okay, to start things off, it is quite interesting because if you've seen all the women inside, it doesn't conform with a certain stereotype of Muslim, right? And what makes this will be, because I'm interested to see what will happen in this episode, because when someone identify themselves as Muslim, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are actually practicing Muslim, right? Which makes things much more difficult to guess whether they are Muslim or not, because if we say there are 6 practicing Muslims and 6 non-practicing Muslim, it will be quite straightforward, I think. But just anyone who identify themselves, I'm a Muslim, where it doesn't, because in reality many Muslim did not or do not actually practice all the things that they should be practicing. So this will be, because that is what I'm looking at in this episode. Want to know what type of people they select from the Muslim community. We'll continue.
Also, there's a surprise this episode. Not that the cast is all moles, but, for the first time, the prize money will decrease for each round the players continue past round 2.
Okay. Because normally this game, the way it always pan out is because many will try to weed out as many people as possible, because they will share the money within a smaller group of people. Hence, even though the mole is already out, they still want to eliminate certain other people so that they can get more of the money, right? So I think that's why they changed the rule that, okay, then the money will be shrinking every round. But anyway, we'll continue.
We're like the families from
Pakistan.
Same.
Wow.
Yeah. What part?
Karachi.
Oh, Karachi. Islamabad.
Yeah, I'm also Pakistani too, but I'm from Karachi as well.
I mean, my family, we're just from New York, but I know that my grandfather had converted to Muslim.
I'm Palestinian.
Oh, yeah.
Parents born, raised there, first generation.
I'm Jordanian, which is next to Palestine.
I lived in Amman for 2 years when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah.
I just came from Amman like 2 years and a half ago.
Cool.
So I'm new here in the States.
Yeah, I'm from Bangladesh.
Oh, okay.
Silat. My parents are from first generation as well.
How did your family implement Islam growing up?
Albab was asking a lot of questions, and she was kind of trying to get information out of the others, so I suspected that.
My community growing up wasn't, there was a lot of white people, Latino people, and I always felt like I was the only Muslim.
Nah, I relate to that too, because I'm African American, so I think it's like not expected of me to be, but growing up, like that's just what I was taught, like from my father, from my grandfather. After my father had passed away, like it made me like look at everything he taught me, So I got right back into it.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up Muslim, my mom's white, so it was kind of like a half culture, But I did the Sunday schools thing, and I like finished the Quran twice, so it wasn't as like strict Muslim.
I come from a Muslim family. My mom is not strict. However, she wears hijab, but she never enforced it on us. Like she always tells us when it's the right time for you and you feel it within your heart that you want to wear hijab, then you're gonna wear hijab.
I was looking for like little clues, and I know with like Zaina, she wore an evil eye, and like my mom taught me that in Islam, like the evil eye, like you're not supposed to wear that.
What's it like being Muslim for us, and what's we found like the hardest thing being Muslim, at least maybe here?
Being Muslim for me, it's funny because, you know, I'm very liberal, I guess, in a way. It's hard because some people, again, just put you in a box and they're like, wait, but you're not wearing a hijab, and, you know, you wear tank tops.
My mom wears the hijab. I've always kind of envied that, like, she can wear her Islam, like, publicly outside. Because, like, sometimes I'll see another lady walking down the street wearing a hijab and I want to say Assalamu alaikum, but I don't want to just be like some random guy who she might, like, be afraid of on the street just trying to talk to her. For high school, I went to a Catholic all-guys school, so that was very different.
When he mentioned that he went to a Catholic school, I was a bit thrown off because you would assume that they would go to a school based off of their religion.
It was a school that was close by, and my mom like wanted me to like all boys. I don't want like you with girls around kind of thing. Okay. And for her, it's still like it's another religious institution that's going to be teaching like similar values and just like morals kind of stuff. Oh no, okay. I guess.
Okay.
Sorry.
You know, she didn't get to really talk a lot, and again, she said she was like, you know, half white, and so it seemed very obvious. We love you so much. so much. Alhamdulillah.
Because I'm half white, I think it definitely made people suspicious of me because I don't look Pakistani at all, so they'd probably think that I was lying when I told them that.
Okay, I think we should ask like more factual questions.
Could we talk about like Ramadan for everyone? That's just like what it's like fasting, what it feels like for you, what your family does.
It's like being around people who are not like doing it, you know what I'm saying? And it's like
your friends want to hang
out.
Like, let's go get
bro,
food.
like,
You're
let's go
like,
get food.
I'll watch you guys eat.
Like,
And sometimes like watching people eat for me, it like helps. Like I don't know why I used to work
watching Food Network. Ramadan.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like a torture kind of thing for ourselves.
I've heard from like my family back home too. At least like it is this case in Karachi, but like what's nice is that in Ramadan they close the restaurants and stuff until iftar, so it makes it even easier for you to like go ahead and still practice because you know sometimes you're out like go out with your friends and eat like not eat but like just watch them and they'll be like I don't want to eat in front of you. Are you okay? I'm like,
it's like bro, it's cool.
The recent Ramadan, like it was a time when I was a bit younger and I was in high school and I was going through like a very like rebellious time. It was during Ramadan when I just like I had this like realization like I'm not doing the right thing right now. And it was that time where I really like transformed.
The reason I was suspicious of Ayan, I feel like anytime when I'd peek around, I just saw him like scanning everybody, kind of looking a little fidgety. Someone would say something and then he'd be, oh yeah, me too.
I try to fast at least like 3 to 4 days out of the week, just to kind of give myself that opportunity to do it. There was one month I did it every day. It was like the best month. It really is. But
once you get used to it, you would get it. Like it was hard for me when I was younger to fast all the days.
No alcohol or like no pork. Do you guys like feel strongly about one thing about Islam, but like not about the others?
I mean, I feel very strongly about like not eating pork. I just remember, you know, that's like something that my father really like told me, you know, like pork is swine, you know, so like I stay like completely away from it, you know.
I've even had conversations with my mom where we'd be like, if like Allah came down right now and said it's okay, like I still don't think I really would eat it. To me, just like I just see it as gross, like that's just I don't eat it.
Just
exactly.
comes like that.
For me, I also think the no alcohol thing is pretty big for me also because I learned in middle school it's like the mother of all sins, so I really stay away from it.
Good luck.
I was like, dang.
It felt like there was more pressure just to find them all quicker, and I feel like I wanted to get into some deeper questions.
Might as well.
Like, how on a scale of 1 to 10, how devout do you guys think you are?
Okay, for me, around 6 years ago, I had a very bad car accident, and I was almost dead. Like, I stayed in the hospital for 3 months, and I have a scar in my face now, if you can see it. It was a very bad experience, however, it got me closer to Allah.
A car hit us, and I had to go through the front window. I thank God that I'm alive, that I'm healthy, that there's nothing wrong?
I'd say like I'm like a 5 because I don't really have anyone like that's like, you know, it's not like within like my family big like that, you know. So the lessons that we're taught, you know what I'm saying, that's I embody those, maybe not all the, you know, the other things that come with it, you know.
Can we talk about an experience where you encountered someone that was speaking down on you or whatnot?
For me, it was maybe I think my sophomore year of high school. I got this one sweatshirt that like had in Arabic written Nasha and Yadum, and under in English this too shall pass. And some random kid who I didn't know like skates up to me and says like, oh, so you're a terrorist. I was just like taken aback. I was like, excuse me. I think I was like 15, but that was like the first time for me that I really like experienced it and was just a little like, whoa, like where does this come from? This kid looked like he was 12. He looked younger than me. But he already has these ideas of like, oh, you're a terrorist just because you have like maybe some Arabic written on your sweatshirt. Almost every time I've gone to the airport, whether it was with my family or by myself, and any of us would be pulled to the side for a little random search. There is definite kind of prejudice involved in that, I believe.
I can go. It was basically it was in middle school, and we were in PE class, and a kid goes up to me, and because he heard my last name. He called me a terrorist, and I completely lost myself and started cursing at him. But then afterwards, I had this whole realization, like that's not what I'm supposed to do.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Why were you put into a Catholic school?
Honestly, it was 3 minutes from our house. My parents wanted a school that would teach similar values.
Are you a Muslim?
Wallahi, I'm Muslim.
Like, what's the biggest thing to you that means that you're Muslim?
So I was hijabi in high school, but then when I entered like UCLA, I took off my scarf. But I think that because of this, I actually grew closer to Islam. Would you mind listing all 5 prayers and like when in the day that they happen?
Dang, well, I don't know why I'm on the spot right now.
So
but you know, it's crap. It's like morning. I watch my dad do it a lot. You know?
What was like the point that?
That is interesting. Yeah. If I'm not sure how it is when the second generation from a Muslim family growing up in the Western environment, right? Is it totally detached from the basic teaching, like the 5 daily prayer, etc.? Meaning, if you do not know that, but it can happen. That's why my issue is with when we say 6 Muslim. It's very hard to determine who is Muslim and who is not, because for the most part, based on their answers, none of them are really practicing Muslim, I think, and that's how they select the people, so that it's ambiguous who is actually Muslim and who's not, I think.
Really, like that turned you to, you know, find Allah a bit more, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I was just like partying a lot, like doing a lot of like just bad things, like, and my whole family's really religious, so I'm from Bangladesh. Like you won't meet a Bengali that's not Muslim, you know.
How can you be exempt from fasting? Do you know?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are very sick and you are under medication and stretching your life, you should not fast, especially for elder people.
Good luck.
We love you, bro.
Raise your hand if you're certain that the world is still in the box and you'd like to continue with your If the lights turn red and the world is still in the box, if the lights turn green, it means that you eliminated the
Okay, make a guess. Is the mole still in or is already out? Based on the answer, I'm assuming the girl on the right there because of her answer. But of course, again, this is the problem, right? Most of them seems very much lack in terms of the basic Islamic understanding. So who knows?
Bro,
So that is correct, because the answer should be very straightforward in terms of a woman who is on height, right? Menstruation period. On her period, she cannot fast or pray or whatever, right? So that is quite a big hint for me, but I'm not sure why didn't they go for her. That is quite interesting.
I'm sorry.
Like my gut instinct was Zaina, and so I wish I would said if it's too well, it's got to be her.
She fit the character very well, but the reason why I didn't go further with it was because I had met Muslims who were like her.
No, but I really want to tell you the truth. I know a lot of Quran. I've studied Quran.
Were you raised up in another religion, or are you ex-Muslim?
No. I'm Christian.
That's what I thought, because it was like.
But we are only 2% out of the population in Jordan. We're very, very few. I want this every day. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't.
It was I felt bad because they're all nice, because I know I'm a liar, and they're all super sweet.
You know, I'm not as knowledgeable, and I'm not. I have tattoos. You know, I don't follow necessarily the guidelines. I'm not strict with it. You know, I just know that it's a personal relationship.
We all have our own ways we practice, and we understand that just because somebody practices it a little bit less or a little bit more doesn't make them any more of a Muslim than the other person.
Hi, my name is Ragni Basin and I directed this episode of Odd Man Out. And if you'd like to play along in the next episode, you can go to our Instagram page and vote for who you think the mole is. Until next time.
There's one myth that it didn't come from my teacher, it came from a lot of 7th graders for some reason. And they're like, oh, people get in trouble for kissing in the halls. I'm like, jeez.
I am a middle schooler.
I'm a middle schooler.
I am a middle schooler.
I'm a middle schooler. I'm a middle schooler.
Okay, that is the next episode. So yeah, my guess was correct, just because of the final answer about when you can not fasting, how to say that. But anyway, regardless, it's like a shot in the dark when most of them do not really practice. I'm not making a judgment, I'm just saying within the scope of the game, when all of them are not practicing, it's very hard to determine one way or another, right? Because they can have total lack of understanding of the religion and still consider themselves a Muslim, right? So yeah, so that is 6 Muslim and 1 secret non-Muslim. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, I'm not sure what we can take out of this one, but hopefully it is something that is different from other previous reaction. Thank you for watching. See you next time.